Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Penguins Collective Podcast live. My name is Louie.
My name is Josh.
And we're two brothers who love to talk about hockey.
Especially the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Oh boy, Josh, it's that time of year again. The Pittsburgh Penguins are back. The hockey season is here. And it's time to do the thing we do annually. The Pittsburgh Penguins 2023-2024 season preview starts now.
Let's get it.
There was no I wish there was confetti.
Yes.
That came off from the screens. But that's not the case. We have just pure excitement. Starting today, the Penguins season officially starts with a few preseason games. We already had one today. The Pittsburgh Penguins won in overtime. Yeah, this afternoon.
Yeah.
The Penguins won in overtime. Shootout. Well, it's
Come
just
on.
overtime. It's overtime,
First
Josh.
game. We'll get there.
Shootout. Whatever. Overtime. Braden Yager. I can't take credit for that. The Penguins Twitter account already did it. He wins us the shootout in a 4-3 victory over the
3-2.
Oh my gosh, Josh, I am not on a good start here. Not on a good start. But we win against the Columbus Blue Jackets. I know that much. We have a game later tonight at 7 p.m. against the said Columbus Blue Jackets in Columbus. So
It's like a half squad.
It's a
right?
It's a half.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a half squad. The other half is going to Columbus. I guess the rest are staying here. But it was a pretty good game. It was nice to see some young prospects play, especially guys that we've seen in Wilkes-Barre. Goaltenders that we just acquired play pretty well. Team's looking promising, but we'll get to that further in the episode. I want to start off with Josh. Are you excited for the season?
Absolutely. It's kind of strange how quickly it got here. It was just a few weeks ago that we got Eric Carlson, and that to me kind of felt like the beginning of the offseason. So right. Now that we're here, training camp was just the last couple weeks, and now preseason is already underway for the next 2 weeks, I believe. And then
sure. Let's call
and
that.
then that's when it matters. First game against Chicago at home.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, let's get it popping.
Yeah, I mean, I'm super excited for this upcoming season. It does feel like just yesterday our hearts were broken that we did not make the playoffs. But now we're here.
Yes.
We're back. The slate has been wiped clean. It is now time for the Pittsburgh Penguins to take back what was rightfully theirs, which is a Stanley Cup back in Pittsburgh. We got Eric Carlson. The core stuck together, stayed together, and it's all right.
Nice
Figure
pivot.
it out.
Nice
Thanks.
pivot.
Thank you. The core stays together. We get great assets for the top six line, top six, and we also got assets for the bottom six. We restructure the goaltending core. It's basically a new team. A team that is destined for greatness. And that starts today. Like how I hyped that up. But first,
that was beautiful.
Thank you. But first, Josh, what do you think of this? What do you think of this bad boy?
When I first got on, I told you. That's a nice looking sweater you got there.
Look at this. Look at this. Hey, look at this. Hey, we're in the state of Pennsylvania. Okay, look at this. Look at this jersey hoodie. Basically, what you would wear this for is pond hockey. Okay, this is from our great sponsor, Third Assist. You could go on their website. Look at that. Look at this.
I'm not gonna lie. It looks super warm. Like you probably shouldn't be wearing it for September 24th.
Oh no, I'm absolutely so hot right now. But let me tell you something. I look good. Okay.
You do. It does look good.
I look good. I may be warm.
Yeah.
But I'm also hot at the same time. You know what I'm saying?
That'll be clutch come February.
Oh my gosh. I wore it outside. I went on a boat tour here in Pittsburgh. Awesome. Wore this. Yeah. Didn't feel a thing. Everyone else was cold. I wasn't. Because I was wearing this. Phenomenal. Hey, look at this. We got the Keystone, Pennsylvania. P-A in the Keystone. Rocking the Pittsburgh gold. The Pennsylvania colors, blue and gold here. You would call it, I guess, the University of Pitt, if you wanted to do that. Yeah. Look, we got shoulder patch here. State outline with the founding year, 1787. Crosby was destined to play in Pennsylvania. It's 87.
200 years later.
200 years later. Crosby. So, let's do. Look at this. Hey, you guys could look just as cool as me.
Nice little fashion show, I must say. I think you should just stand the entire episode.
This is the episode right now. Right here. Bam, 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 bam. You guys can go on thirdassist.com, get one just as cool as mine. And actually, there's coming out with t-shirts version of these. So, like, if you like jerseys, do you know what I'm saying? Which Josh does.
I love them.
He is getting his Eric Carlson jersey.
That is correct.
You can get those at thirdassist.com. I don't think we have the TPC 10 or 15 with Third Assist.
Oh, that was 10.
TPC 10. Use code TPC 10 with Third Assist, and you could get a sick cool hoodie jersey like this, Josh. Beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. I just wanted to show that off. I thought.
I like it. I like
Thank
it.
you.
And our first ad of the year. Shout out
Our
Third
first
Assist.
shout out OG.
Yes.
Okay. You guys know we're working behind the scenes. We got some other sponsors here going forward. Right now, this is Third Assist show. Okay. OG. Look at this. Feeling good. I'm sweating. Getting up and doing all that, Josh, because this is so hot. I'm sweating. But let's get into hockey, shall we? Let's not talk about football for 40 minutes before a podcast, because what idiots would start off a hockey podcast talking about the NFL and college football for 40 minutes, Josh? Who would do that?
Well, what I am going to do, Lewis, is I'm going to talk about it for a little bit because we do have another
What are
sponsor
you doing?
that we need to talk about.
Josh, I just promised the people.
I
I just
understand.
promised the people.
I understand. But we got to talk about this ad.
All right. Do it up.
All right.
Do your ad.
We are back with another week of football, and DraftKings Sportsbook is keeping us in on the NFL action with great offers every single game. I love it. New customers can bet $5 and get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Throw $5 down on any of this week's epic matchups to walk away with an instant winner. I know it's a little bit in the afternoon, but we still got tonight's Sunday night game, and then we have 2 Monday night football games tomorrow. So don't forget to use this code THPN. So football is more fun when you're in on the action. So download the app now and sign up with our code THPN. New customers can bet just $5 and get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, with code THPN. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY to 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly.
Josh, that was beautiful.
Thank you, sir.
Beautiful.
Shout out THPN and DraftKings.
That's right. If you guys don't know, we are a part of a hockey podcast network. We are a part of that hockey podcast.
The Hockey Podcast Network.
Struggling today.
THPN.
The Hockey Podcast Network. We're a part of that. And we're partners with DraftKings Sportsbook. So if you guys are gambling people, go on over to DraftKings. You know what? Speaking of gambling, they gamble on so many things like tennis, just which is crazy to me.
I know,
it's just crazy. But if you're like, hey, I just do hockey, you can gamble hockey. If you just do all that, whatever floats your boat.
Absolutely.
I was on a boat tour. All right, let's continue. Today.
Let's get after it.
Josh, I'm just trying to entertain.
I'm going to push you along here.
Hey.
You know?
You calm it down. Let's do
All right.
it. All right. So the Pittsburgh Penguins. Let's back up. Let's do a little history lesson, shall we? All right.
I'm all for history.
It's the season preview. We got to make sure we entertain and also educate the people here on this said podcast. So let's go ahead and get started, right? End of 22-23. Going all the way back there. Pittsburgh Penguins, heartbreak. After 16 seasons, the Pittsburgh Penguins will not make it back to the playoffs. That was the longest streak in professional sports, and it was broken by stooges running the organization. Absolute stooges. Downright enemies of the state. Downright hate people of the black and gold. All things changed when the Fenway Sports Group comes on in and says, guess what? You guys, out of town. Out. Throwing you out. Fired Ron Hextall. Fired Burke. But kept Mike Sullivan because they know what's good. We hire the young gun from the Toronto Maple Leafs who were not happy with their results. Nothing to do with the man. Then falls into Black and Gold's lap here in Pittsburgh. We pick up. Why am I blanking on his name, Josh?
Kyle Dubas?
Oh my gosh, dude. Because you know what I got in my head, Josh? Shanahan. Because Shanahan handcuffed Kyle Dubas. And that led him home sweet home. Pittsburgh, Black and Gold. The Steel City. He comes here and he says, I got some plans. I got good plans for the city of Pittsburgh. And he does. He implements them. He makes some changes quick.
Yeah.
He goes up to Michigan. He talks with some players. He goes up to Canada. He talks to players. Things are happening. There's some murmurs. There's some rumors in the rumor mill here in Pittsburgh. Off season, all of a sudden, news breaks. Erik Karlsson, 3-time Norris Trophy winner, has Pittsburgh on his final list of destinations. Uh-oh, Penguins fans freak out. Is this really going to happen? What's going to happen with Erik Karlsson? Will Kyle Dubas, the newly appointed the newly appointed POHO, president of hockey operations, what is he going to do? There's no GM yet. Will this man get it done? Will this man bring Erik Karlsson, 3-time Norris Trophy winner, to Pittsburgh? Rumors are going around. Tweets are being sent. Emails being passed around. Leaks of it, either Pittsburgh or Carolina Hurricanes. It's down to those two. Who's going to get it done? Who's going to flinch first? Who is going to make the right offer to San Jose? It was a brisk Sunday morning when we all got the news. Erik Karlsson is coming to Pittsburgh. The media loses its marbles. Tweets being sent out. Emergency podcasts were had. The 3-time Norris Trophy winner is here in Black and Gold. Game changer. Now the media is wondering if the Penguins are cup winners. Not so fast, as the Spittin' Chicklets. Not so fast. They got some work to do. So what do the Pittsburgh Penguins do? Make some hires. Kyle Dubas looks in the mirror and says, guess what, buddy? You're the only one who can get the job done. You're the new GM. So now he's the Pahogum. President of Hockey Operations / GM. He's got stuff to do. What does he do first thing? I'm going to re-sign Tristan Jarry. Jury's still out on that decision, but he got it done. With the trade of Erik Karlsson, we need a backup goaltender. So what does he do? Go out. Cherry pick from Detroit on who he wants to sign for our backup goaltender. We got 2 of them from Detroit.
Both of them. Yeah.
He said, what does Detroit have? I want it. Puts it in his back pocket. Then he signs a couple new people. And I'm just going to really quickly, I kind of skipped like one big important thing. So
Yeah.
I kind of.
Everyone forgot about this one. You talking about Riley Smith?
Yeah, I forgot about Riley Smith.
Okay,
So
your storytelling right now is phenomenal.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let's rewind here. Before the dust settled on Erik Karlsson trade, it was draft night, 2023. Podcast was headed by Josh. Who are the Penguins going to pick? We have the 14th pick. What are we going to do with it? There's so many people on the names. We're not going to get Connor Bedard. That's a long shot unless we make a trade. We do make a trade. Not to the Chicago Blackhawks. We ain't getting that first pick. We ain't giving up that much. But we are going to trade the Vegas Golden Knights. Who do we give? A draft pick.
Third-round draft.
Literally a draft pick. From what? A Teddy Bluger trade last year from Stooges. So what did we do? We took that crap trade and sprinkled some fairy dust on it and turned that crap magical and got Riley Smith for a draft pick for nothing. So basically, we traded Teddy Bluger last year for Riley Smith this year. I'd say that's a win. Kyle Dubas is still Poho at this time. He gets that done. Draft night. People are saying, whoa, that's a steal for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Are they done? Little do they know. Erik Karlsson is on a plane from Sweden or wherever he's from, coming right to Pittsburgh. Fast forward. After the Erik Karlsson trade is done, we put ink to paper. Sign a little guy named Lars Eller to fill in on the bottom six. We know what's going on. We need help with the PK and the power play. Who can help? That guy, Lars Eller. Sign him. What about another guy? We need some help on defense. I don't know. What about one of the hottest young defensemen in the league? Long hair, don't care. Ryan Graves is coming to Pittsburgh. Sign him from New Jersey. Remember that one guy that we lost on waivers? Yeah, bring him back. Radim Zahorna, bring him back. We gained some people in some trades. Rem
Pitlick?
I was going to say potluck. But it was a potluck because Kyle Dubas is bringing everything together. We got 2 goaltenders from Detroit, as I mentioned. Alex Nedeljkovic and Magnus Hellberg. Then, in Colorado territory, we wanted to sign someone that has experience in the playoffs, in the bottom 6. Bring in Matt Nieto. Kyle Dubas was just in Toronto. I have an idea. I have a guy who wants to win now. Let's bring him over. Noah Asiari. Bring him in. A professional tryout that turns pretty obvious. Vinny Henestroza.
Yeah, nailed that.
Thank
you. Got it.
Bring him in. Andreas Johansson or Johnson. Bring him in. Kyle Dubas is ready to roll. He has a press conference. Everyone's saying, are you done? Are we making more trades? And he stares right down the barrel of the camera and says, I'm a bet on us. This is the team that's going to get it done. And here we are, September 24th, 2023. Preseason starts today. All those young guys that kind of helped out this collection, we're ready to roll. We're betting on us. We win in an overtime shootout, 3-2 against the Columbus Blue Jackets. And this team is going up, skyward. We're ready to rock.
Wow.
So anything you missed, you're all caught up to date.
Wow.
I'm bowing. Thank you.
That was incredible.
Josh,
incredible.
I was tripping up on some words there.
It's okay. Those are some tough names in there. But one thing I will say at the end there, I don't know about you, but for me, when you were saying this team is ready to roll, I don't know if it's because of recency bias. We did just watch the movie Draft Day not too long ago.
We did.
Remember, he finalizes the draft, finagles everything. He's done. He turns to the coach and says, "The team is ready to go." Are you? Is this a team that you would like to coach? I mean,
and what did that coach say, Josh?
Yeah.
What did the coach say?
What did he? Go ahead. Yeah.
I don't know the exact words he says,
but pretty much.
He goes, I want to coach this team.
Yeah.
Mike Sullivan, when he was asked, hey, is this a team that you can coach? And he smirked and looked at the camera and said, I mean, frick yeah. That's what he said. He said, absolutely, I can coach this team. I mean, I've been coaching the greatest hockey player of all time for the last 5 years. I think I can handle a 3-time Norris Trophy defenseman and a couple other gems that Dubas has brought in. This team is ready to go. If you're not excited for the 2023-2024 Pittsburgh Penguins season, you're smoking something, because this team is trying to prove to the NHL that age is just a number. That when you bet against a GM that didn't have success, when you bet against a guy who's not scoring as much points in a out of hockey town market, when you bet against a core that above all odds sticks together and says, you bet on us. That's what we're doing. We're betting on us. How can you not get excited? There's so many moving parts, but guess what? It's all coming together. We draft a guy at pick 14, Braden Yeager. The guy looks like he's about to crack a roster spot, even though draft day, we said, yeah, he ain't cracking a roster spot.
Yeah.
He's going to Wilkes-Barre, if that. This guy out here is playing to play with Sidney Crosby. He had one practice with Sidney Crosby. He's cracking the roster. Look what happens when we do things right. This team is ready to roll. This team is ready to rock. And if you aren't seeing that by now, well, we got some information for you. We got some things for you. We got some plans. We got some projected lineups. We got some goals and aspirations that you could get excited about as well. That all starts here.
Can I just say, if I'm listening to this and I'm not hyped for this season, I don't know. You need to check your pulse, because I'm ready to run through a brick wall right now.
Let's go.
Like, that's
Let's
crazy.
Go. I don't know.
That was amazing. That was amazing. I'm so glad I didn't interrupt that at all.
I'm watching the preseason while I'm watching my favorite team literally suck at football, right? And when I'm watching that, I'm like, man, this team looks like a godsend comparative.
Yeah.
Okay? So this team, I'm watching the Pittsburgh Penguins. And I know it's preseason. I know what you're going to say. Louie's preseason. Half of these guys aren't even going to make the roster. But the fact that these guys are playing so well in preseason, which means, is Wilkes-Barre going to finally get a Calder? Because that would be phenomenal. That would mean that our whole entire organization will start to have success. Yeah. Hasn't happened before. When the Wilkes-Barre team has been doing good, Pittsburgh has suffered. When the Pittsburgh Penguins have been doing well, Wilkes-Barre has suffered. It's always been a battle between the Penguins. But now you're seeing a full roster from top to bottom that can produce in the postseason. Alex Nylander looked phenomenal today and in practices. It's been talked about. He's skating. Yeager, he's flying. Our goalies looking like bricklayers. Brick wall in the net. This team is ready to go, and so should you, as we break down a couple things. Now, we're obviously going to redo that rehash really quickly, but
no, that was good. Let it ride.
Let it ride? I was thinking we can actually break down the trade a little bit, but
executive decision. No, let that ride. If they didn't pick up the names as you went through that fantastic history journey that you just took us on,
you're welcome.
That's on them.
Hey, my goal for this podcast, we have goals, Josh. We set goals. Yeah. My goal for this season, you know how when the Penguins, they'll take audio from Mark Madden and other radio people, and they put them together to for a hype video.
Oh yeah. Be you one day?
That's my goal.
Let's do it.
So they go.
There. I mean, anything like that. I mean, we should.
Just clip that. Send it to Penguins.
Absolutely.
Move over, Josh Getzoff. I'm coming. All right. But
Do you want now, with all that said,
I know we get
do you
hard
want
transition.
do you want me to start with the lineup projections, or do you want to do
Well,
yours?
where do you want to go from here? So we
I like
just
the
gave that.
projections. I like
Let's
the
go
lineup
projections. So,
projections.
all right. So obviously, Mike Sullivan has gone on record with the couple of practices. The obviously camp is going on preseason, and he had a interview on the 21st, I believe, after camp, and he said, "Don't read too much into what we're doing because obviously we're just trying to gain experience and we're just trying to grow these players level." Like Jaeger was with Crosby. Obviously, Jaeger's not going to be on the first line. That's reserved for either, obviously Gensel and Rust or Raquel. That's going to be something figured out. But you want to put a guy like Jaeger with Sid because what we just watched is a result of that.
Yeah.
So, way to go, Mike Sullivan and coaching staff, to be aware of, hey, he may not be ready to go right now, but he'll be ready to go next year or the year after that because we're planting seeds and there's going to be fruit from that. So he said a lot of parentheses in that quote, but don't take much from what we're doing in minicamp. Then he kind of answered the question right after saying, where's Riley Smith going to play in all this? And he immediately was like, yeah, second line. Like, that's, don't read into too much, but Riley Smith is playing on the second line. Like, that's literally why we brought him in. So with that being said, Josh, we know Riley Smith is on the second line.
Mm-hmm.
We know Gensel is definitely, when he comes back from injury, he's going with Sid. What does our roster look like? Break it down from line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4, defensive pairings, goalies.
Okay. And just so I get the readings right, am I going left to right, from left wing, center, right wing? Okay.
Just like a book,
Now,
baby.
I'm going to preface this with what you were saying. I had this prior to Mike Sullivan saying all that.
So Riley Smith is not on second line.
No, he's on second line. But
okay.
I'm just saying some of the things did match what he was saying and what he did in minicamp and stuff, and others just don't. So
Got
what
it.
I
Understood.
have, line 1, Gensel, Crosby, Raquel. Line
Got
2,
it.
Smith, Malkin, Rust. Line 3,
wait,
I had
Smith, Malkin, Rust. Sorry, go ahead, continue.
Mm-hmm. Line 3, I have O'Connor, Eller, and Nylander.
Ooh.
And line 4, I have Nieto, Asiari, and Pitlick.
Did you say Carter in the third line?
No, I did not. Carter is on the bench. Eller is the center on the third line.
Okay. We'll revisit that. Defense. Go ahead.
Okay.
Pairings.
Defense pairing number 1, I have Graves and Letang. Defensive pairing 2, I have Pedersen and Carlson. And 3 is POJ and
we lost him. Unreal. This has never happened in the history of the podcast. Josh is gone. Okay. That's completely fine. So what he was going to say was P.O. Joseph and Chad Ruedel. And I'm assuming his goaltending would be obviously Tristan Jarry as the starter, and then Needle Djokovic, which I know I'm mispronouncing his name. Like, I get it, but I'm pretty sure he's going to be the backup, even though I believe it's going to be Hellberg. So let me kind of break down what he said, and I'm going to say where I kind of disagree and agree going forward. So he said, obviously, Gensel, Sid, and Raquel. And I'm going to kind of swap. So his second line was Rust, Malkin, and Smith, our newly acquired Riley Smith. I don't know if that's true. I think we're going to see Raquel on the second line, Rust on the first line. I think that's a better matchup to start the season. To see Rust, I think he's going to be on a bounce back year. I think this is probably the most important season for Rust. I think last year he could have done better. He was going in between the first and second line. I think second line to start the season isn't quite the possibility. I think he's going to be with Sid to start the season. So it'll be Gensel, Sid, and Rust to start off on the first line. Second line is going to be Raquel, Malkin, and Smith. Third line, you're going to see, he said, Nylander, Lars Eller, and who did he say? I forget who he said. But let's break down that third line. I don't think, Lars Eller is going to take a spot away from Carter. I think Carter's going to remain on that third line, no matter how much we hate it, how much we despise it. I think Carter will be the center. Eller will still be there. And then Nylander being third, fourth line. I like Pitlick and I like Asiari and Nieto on the third line. I like that. Let's keep it there. Let's keep it there. Matchups for defense. Okay, so I just got an update from Josh. He lost power in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Okay, he is trying to get it back on. Hopefully he'll be back on the pod. If not, I'm just going to kind of take it from here. But let's refocus, shall we? Let's refocus. So, matchups for defense. I honestly believe Carlson will get the first crack. Just to start the season. We're going to see how that plays out. Just like I said, Rust on the first line, Carlson on the first line pairing. I agree with Josh. Graves, Carlson is oh no, he said Graves and Letang. Let me think about that. I like Letang and Graves, Pedersen, and Carlson. Pedersen, first line. Graves, Letang, second line. Chad, P.O., third line. Goalie, Tristan Jarry, Hellberg, goaltender. That's what mine would be. Oh, boy. Ladies and gentlemen, the power's back on. He's back.
Sorry, we're getting the remnants of that hurricane that was coming through the Carolinas. So,
Josh, you left me. I had no idea where to go. I had no idea. I was breaking down your roster pick, and I completely forgot what you said. So, man, I was struggling. This is what happens when we don't prep for it. But here we go. You were going to finish. No. Your last line before you cut out.
Yeah.
Was P.O. Joseph and Chad?
Yes. Ruido. Yes.
That's what I thought.
Yes.
And then obviously your goaltending, which is something you previously stated, was Jari and Needle Djokovic.
Correct. Yes. Absolutely.
Okay. Here's why I disagreed with you. Okay.
Go for it. Yes. I missed all
right. Recap. I know. Recap. Let's recap for Josh because he sucks. So first line, Gensel, Crosby, Rust to start the season. We're going to see how that goes. Raquel, Malkin, Smith.
Okay.
Second line. Lars Eller, Carter, O'Connor.
Okay. Wait, who's the
Nylander.
center in that? Who's the center in that one? Carter?
No, Carter could play a wing. I think Lars is going to take the center. Actually,
Okay.
no, I'm an idiot. Best centerman, Carter.
Okay.
Fourth line. Now, I just changed my mind, Josh. You are getting a new lineup. The people. No way, Josh.
What is going on here?
Josh, what are you doing?
I didn't touch anything.
Your whole
didn't touch
camera
anything.
changed.
I didn't touch anything though. My hands are here. See? God,
All right,
I
for
hate
those
storms.
for those who can't see, and for the podcast edition, Josh's power in and out. His screen is glitching, and
Yep.
right now is ruining our live stream. Josh,
It's all right. We're pushing through.
we're
Let's push
pushing through. Anyway, the people, I totally forgot Drew O'Connor when I was going through the lineups. So now when you're here, I remember Drew O'Connor, and I like Drew O'Connor. He played well. He's going on my third line. Sorry for the people that was like, wait, where was Drew O'Connor last time? I forgot about him, okay? Now I remember him. Third line. Fourth line. Nylander, Pitlick, and Nieto.
Mm-hmm.
That's my fourth line. Okay?
Okay.
Lineups for defense. Carlson, Pettersson. Line 1. Now remember, this is to start the season. So this could change.
It would be other way around though, right? Because isn't Carlson a right?
Okay. So Carlson, Pettersson.
Just saying.
Whatever, doesn't matter. I'm just listing names, Josh. Okay, no need to
All right.
no need to be a Pitlick nitpick, okay? Right, that was off the dome.
Yeah. I'll write that
Then
down.
crap. Then Graves Letang, or however that goes. So, yeah, that would be right.
That would be right.
Graves Letang, then P.O. Joseph, Chad, the Mad Ruedel. Okay? Goaltending, Tristan Jarry and Hellberg.
I think you're way off on that, but
It's
all
not
right.
way off. It's either Hellberg or Needle Djokovic. It's not way off. It's
Yeah,
50-50.
It is way off. One's an NHL goaltender, the other is not.
He's on a two-way. He could crack the roster.
All right.
What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? I like Hellberg. I think he played better.
That's fair. And do you think Carter is getting the start on that third line just due to his contract?
100%, Josh.
Okay.
Because why, everyone? We can't trade him and we can't bench him. So he is starting whether we like it or not. So, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
But Josh, I realized something as I was going through the lineups and talking about names and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
As I was giving my great monologue of what happened and where we are, I realized we never talked about the memoriam, the people we've lost. Did he freeze? Oh my gosh. How are we going to do this episode, ladies and gentlemen? Josh keeps on leaving. It's okay. Like he said, we power through. So, as I was mentioning, we talked about projected lineups, and that's great. We'll talk about really quickly who we lost, because I know that could be confusing for some people who are saying, well, what about like Nick Bonino? Don't we still have him? No, we don't. So let's talk about who's out, right? Quickly, we got Eric Carlson, Riley Smith, Noel Asiari, Ryan Graves, Matt Nieto, Alex Nedochokovic, Lars Eller, Magnus Hellberg, Vinny Hinostroza, Andreas Johnson, Radim Zahorna, Rem Petlick. Those are our new additions to the roster. The ones who have left, the ones that cannot be on the roster: Josh Archibald, Nick Bonino, Drake Cogulia. I know I'm not saying that right. Brian Dumoulin, Dmitry Kukulov, Ryan Paling, and of course, Jason Zucker did not re-sign with the Penguins. So that is the reason why our roster looks the way it does. Our outs and our ins. All right, let's continue talking as Josh is trying to regroup here. But that's fine. Sometimes life brings us barricades and we got to break through them, figure out a way around them. And that is what we're doing right now. Okay, so Josh just texted me, and I love this. He talked about division rankings. He can't be a part of it, but he is at the same time, and I absolutely love it. We're going to talk about division rankings, all right? Let's talk about the Metropolitan uh, division for the Eastern Conference in the National Hockey League here. So I just want to quickly look up right now. Josh he's working on his way to come back, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm getting texts as I'm talking to you. We'll figure it out. It's no problem. It's been raining here in Pittsburgh, on and off, like kind of like a sprinkle. So I understand the raining situation. But let's talk about the Metropolitan Division. This is where I believe it's all going to shake down. This is our projection, right? This is our hopeful. This is a definitive. It's this or bust. I just think this is how it's going to happen. So, excuse me. I think, honestly, the way things are going to break down: Hurricanes, Penguins, okay. Josh wants to talk about division rankings. He is working to come back on. But me, personally, how I want things to shake down: Hurricanes, Penguins, Devils. Hurricanes, Penguins, Devils. He's back. Josh, you're interrupting me. You're texting me.
We got to press through this. It's going to happen again. I know it. It's literally every time lightning strikes.
All right, really quickly. I'm breaking down the Metropolitan Division. Josh, would you like to be a part of this conversation? Awesome.
Yes, I'm here.
So, I said Hurricanes, Penguins, Devils. Okay. Islanders. Rangers, Capitals, Flyers, Blue Jackets.
Wow. All right.
Yeah. No love for the Blue Jackets.
You got us finishing second in the division.
Behind the Carolina Hurricanes.
Yeah. Okay. So I was super hyped. I'm sure we can go back to a previous episode. I think it was shortly after we got Carlson. I said second as well. I'm taking a little step back. I am going third. I'm going Carolina 1, New Jersey 2, us third, and then the Rangers 4th, Islanders 5th, Blue Jackets.
Wow.
And then who are the other two that I'm missing? Blue Jackets.
You forgot Flyers.
Oh, Blue Jackets, Islanders, Flyers.
After that monologue I did, and you said I could run through a brick wall, you're like, actually, we're going to finish third in the Metropolitan. You're saying we're going to just squeak on by?
No, we're not going to squeak on by. Get on out of here. No.
It's 4.
That would be that. It's the top 3 that make the playoffs.
Third goes in the wild card. Am I thinking
4th
football?
Gets to, yeah, 4th gets in the wild card.
What did I say? Third? Sorry, I even had 4 fingers up. 4th gets into the wild card.
Correct.
That's us squeaking into the playoffs, Josh. Squeaking. No faith. What are we doing? What are we doing here, ladies and gentlemen? What are we doing? All right. We're coming up on an hour. Josh is done for the day. We're making that executive decision. Josh is done. All right. Let me just tell him. Oh my gosh. All right. My gosh. Unreal. It's okay. All right. For those of you who are listening onto the podcast, listening on the podcast, Josh is having some power issues and he keeps on going in and out. Um, so I think it's just gonna be me solo. I'm just telling him, don't worry to come back on. I'm so sorry for everyone. I know me and Josh always do this together, and I wanted to keep it that way, but it looks like I'm gonna have to do it solo. So, all right. Okay, so divisional rankings. He says we're going to end up third. I highly disagree. I think as soon as we get going, um I think we're going to make the third. I think we're going to make second. Hurricanes, Penguins, and then the Devils and the Islanders. Um so let's move on. We know where we're going to end up. Let's talk about the playoffs, of course. So I think we're going to end up is, I say, second round is a win. So I think going playoffs, like last year, the last couple years, well, before we got our hearts broken and the Penguins could not make the playoffs, the years before that, I think it was 3, we lose in the first round. We could not make it to the second round. So if this upcoming season we make it into the the second round, and we make it past it, welcome Josh. Welcome back, Josh. If we make it into the second round, I would call that season a success.
100%.
That is what I think. For those of you who's listening, Josh is back. I think if we make it past the second round, that is a success. First round, excuse me. That is a success. Anything other than that is just, that's a cherry on top. I think if we make it to the third round, that's great. If we make it to the Stanley Cup, even better. If we win it, wow, that's amazing. I don't think a cup is, I wouldn't say it's not possible, because we could be the best ranked team coming out of the first round of the playoffs. But what I'm saying is it's not impossible, but it's unlikely for us to win the cup this upcoming season without seeing the team play.
I agree.
Right? I'm not talking about preseason. I'm
Just
not
paper.
talking about just paper. We don't know. If you asked me that question 2 months into the season, I'd be like, this is a Stanley Cup team.
Yeah, we'll have a better grasp of what the team looks like.
100%. I think if we make it past the first round, Kyle Dubas gets a stamp of approval. Mike Sullivan is out of the hot seat, which I think he is kind of in the hot seat right now. Not like burning, it's not like you better win all these games. It's kind of like it's in question right now.
It could get hot. Yeah.
It could get hot. But right now, I think he's fine. If he makes it past the first round, he's okay. Everyone's not going to doubt Sidney Crosby in the core. Erik Karlsson gets happy because he's on a playoff team. I think if we make it past the first round, that's a win. Josh, quickly before your power goes out again.
Yeah, I am 100% on the same train as you. I have here finishing third in the Metro, losing in the second round. So,
you have us like definitely losing in the second round.
Yeah, like I just think, like you said, after the first round, I think by finishing third, we should have an upper hand against our opponent. I just think in reality, whoever we face in that first round, we should have an upper hand as long as we don't finish in the wild card. And then also, like I want to just say that we lose in the second round by saying, we always talk about it, throughout the season. We talked about it 2 years ago when we were in the playoffs. It's a whole new season once the regular season is over. Everyone is
100%.
0-0. Now anything can happen, and anything can happen at any point at any game. That's why you see some of these random teams battling against the President Trophy winners all 7 games. And that's why you mostly don't see President Trophy winners win the Stanley Cup, because it doesn't correlate. It doesn't.
Right.
It's a whole new year. So I say that we lose in a second, but also with the caveat of anything can happen. So
yeah, I think that's. I mean, like we said, on paper right now, I think we are losing in the second round.
Yeah,
and that would be a good season, but we don't know what's going to happen on trade deadline. We don't know what's going to happen leading up to the playoffs, injuries, stuff like that. That could be a heartbreaker. That could be a hidden gem sometimes, because an AHL guy steps up and then all of a sudden becomes a Jake Gensel or Brian Rust. So sometimes those things happen that make or break a playoff team. I remember when Jake Gensel's first year was 16. So he kind of helped, or was it 17? Either way, it was on our way to win a cup, and there was injuries. We brought him in. It was late in the season. He scored, kind of helped the hype and the trajectory of the Penguins elevate past a first round, second round. Yeah. It was, hey, let's continue.
I think that was 16, because that was, I think it was the year that Sullivan came up, and that's why he brought him up with him.
Right, pretty quick. Yeah. So I mean, I agree with that. I think it is just so early to tell when we're out, but whether it's paper or not, we're making the playoffs. I don't care who you are. You're looking. I had the whole monologue. You look at this team right now. We're a playoff team.
Yeah.
On paper, off paper, the way they're playing, the hype around the team, the anger, the I'm talking about the right anger to have. The right anger to have is we're not happy with what we left on the ice last season. We want it back. That kind of anger, that's a playoff team. P.O. Joseph talked about it. Erik Karlsson says, I know this team can make the playoffs. I want to be a part of it. This whole team has enough hype to make it on playoff alone. So that is definitely happening. I don't see that going anywhere else. Definitely the Pittsburgh Penguins are making the playoffs this upcoming season. Josh, obviously you agree with that. If you had to give a ratio with our new roster with Erik Karlsson, what's your percentage of us winning the cup, realistically?
So there's 16 teams that make it into the playoffs, right? For each conference. So a 1 in 16th chance?
Well, okay. I meant like 50-40. I'm saying like 50-40 or 50. Wow. 50-50, 60-40. Like, what's your percentage of us winning a cup?
It's like you were just saying, it's so hard to tell from this early in the year. I mean, like you said, on paper, they have the pedigree. They have the ideal talent. But it all comes at the caveat of them being old. And this is in terms of hockey, okay? They're hockey old. We're talking late 30s here. Grand scheme of life, they're still young. I get that.
They're a young group of guys.
Yeah, so I don't know. I would probably say we have like a 20% chance of winning it. Now, you were just talking about Gensel that year, and if you asked me in December of 2016 if we had a chance to win the cup, well, it would have been December of 2015. I would have said 0. There was a 0% chance, and then we went on that run, and we won. So 20%, You just don't know, and that's why it's so hard to do these season projections so early on. But like I enjoy doing them at the same time because
Mm.
I, I like trying to
How do you not?
project.
How do you
But
not?
yeah, so yeah, all of that to say they have a very slim shot, but let's see what happens. Carolina can get riddled with injuries. Not wishing that upon anyone. New Jersey could not live up to the hype. Rangers could be better than expected. What's his name? Igor could come back to his form and be phenomenal again, and they actually be really good. I don't know. Anything can happen. And then you got the Atlantic to consider when you're talking about the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like who knows what
Boston
that
be good?
division's going to look like.
Yeah.
Boston may not be good. Who else is in that division? I don't even know.
So many people.
Yeah,
but no, I get what you're saying. I
Yeah.
you're saying. I mean, if I had to do it, I would probably say like a 10% chance right now.
Yeah.
10%
right.
chance.
Yeah.
Like, but 90% saying probably not. So,
Yeah.
and that's fine. And I'm okay to live in that until I see otherwise. But I think everyone starts off with 100% chance if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Everyone starts in the season when there are 0-0-0. Everyone has an equal opportunity to win the Stanley Cup. So that's what I love about hockey. It's not like basketball where everyone tries to make these dream teams to win the championship every single year. It's literally anyone's game. Literally anyone's game. So can't wait to see. We start off with 100%, but just off paper, as of right now, I'm looking at 10%. And that's our projection right now, I should say. Today. This podcast. That's our projection. But Josh, because we're dealing with some technical difficulties, let's ride off with one last thing, all right? And then let's wrap it up. We're going to kind of have like a two-parter situation going forward. Preseason will end next week. Well, for our episode.
Yeah.
We'll be getting ready for the regular season of the Pittsburgh Penguins, which means we will be back every episode live after the game. We're not pre-recording it. You're not going to be like, oh, when are they going on? No, like 10 minutes after the buzzer
maybe
goes.
15. Maybe
15 minutes. Let me go to the bathroom. And then 50. So let's do that. 15 minutes after the game, and that includes overtime. 15 minutes after, we will go live. Right here. Right now. And we will go live so you guys can join in on the conversation. That's what this all is. It's the Penguins Collective. Join in. But before I get all excited about the future, let's talk about the present. And the present is this upcoming season. Josh. I know that didn't come out right.
Also, was kind of the future, but I got you.
It was cooler in my head. Josh, hot take time. Hot take time. I wouldn't call it a hot take because a hot take is something that you know is going to be a little spicy.
Yeah.
All right, we're doing a bold take. This is something that
bold prediction. Sure.
A bold prediction.
Yeah.
This is something that's it's bound in truth, but it may be a long shot. So it's not like I think Tristan Jarry's going to get traded. Like that's a hot take because it's so out there. This is a bold prediction. So something that's kind of based, but it could not come true. Josh, what is your number one bold take this upcoming season for the Pittsburgh Penguins?
Yeah, so I kind of just talked about it. We have a very old team. And it kind of made the headlines at the end of last year that it was the first time in a long time that both Malkin and Crosby played all 82 games.
Mm-hmm.
So my bold prediction is that 3 of the 4, big 4, Crosby, Malkin, Letang, and Carlson will play all 82 games.
All 3.
I think 3 of the 4. Now, granted, because of their age, there is probably going to be injury with at least one of them. So that is why I am handcuffing myself there by just saying 3 of the 4.
Sure.
Um,
Sure.
but I think also the fact that this is the first year where Malkin, Crosby, and Letang didn't make the postseason, so that's additional recovery time. That's additional offseason time, additional relaxation, additional rehab, get the body right. They were always bouncing back so quickly. That's why they were never able to finish an 82 game season.
Sure.
So I think and now with the new format, with the rules of the scheduling that they're not allowed to do so many, back to backs and, all those things with flying, and they're making it easier essentially for you to be healthier for each game, which is great.
Yeah,
I remember
absolutely.
back in the day, they had 3 games in a row, flying all over the place. So that's mine. 3 of the big 4, Crosby, Malkin, Letang, and Carlson, will play all 82 games.
I like it. I mean, I think that's a really solid take. To piggyback off yours, this is not my bull take, but just want to say, is Crosby hitting that tying Wayne Gretzky record of point per
100%.
season? Okay.
100%.
That's not even a take. That's what's going to happen this season.
That's just fact.
I honestly
put it on the book. Okay, can I just say, if you go back and look at his stats just from last year, he finished, point per game.
Yeah.
He was not good on the power play. The entire team was not good on the power play. So now just add Carlson there to just be a good body on the power play.
Yeah.
Crosby's going to find him at least one time.
That's true.
So
you're saying Crosby's hitting 100 points this season?
I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that he's gonna hit. He's getting
at least 82.
Yeah, I think I see him in the 85 to 90 range. That's my
still phenomenal for his age.
Projection. Yeah, absolutely.
Still phenomenal for age. Okay, yeah. I agree. I think Crosby either is going to do that, get 100, or he's going to break the tie Wayne Gretzky's point per season record. Here's my bold take. With the addition of Carlson, then creates competition, right? To either be the top guy, to be the quarterback of the power play, right? Which is good. You want competition. So with my bold take, it will be Chris Letang, not Erik Karlsson, that wins the Norris Trophy this upcoming season. So I think it's going to be like one of the first times in what I could remember where the 2 best defensemen in the league play on the same team.
Question. Don't you have him playing the second pairing?
Josh, that's to start the season. We got a long season to go. He's going to put up some points.
Okay. Hey, if that happens, that just means that we're having a great year.
That means we're cup bound, baby. We're cup bound. Hey, I love it.
That's fine.
I love it.
That is fine. That's gonna be some tough hill to battle for him, because I mean everyone already kind of expects Carlson to take a step back, and he's I think Norris Trophy winner.
I think everyone expects Letang to take a step back, let Carlson go. Which I think it might be the opposite. Carlson is now coming into a group where he doesn't have to carry everything on his back.
Yeah.
So I think that's what's going to happen. I think our power play is going to step up. Our PK is going to step up. Letang is just going to be Letang, a 2-way defenseman, another asset, and he's going to have free reign just like he did 10 years ago, and he's going to become the Norris Trophy winner that we all know he can be. Okay. I think that's my bold take. Now, it could change. Literally tomorrow, I can have a new bold take.
What? No. We're stamping this. I have mine written down for a reason. It's gonna stay that way.
But next week, we're going to talk a little more about kind of like a season preview, just a continuation in our conversation that we're having today. And then we're going to stop our weekend live streams. So this episode is on Sunday. We'll have another one next Sunday. And that will be our last weekly podcast. Then it's going to go every game. Every game we will have a live. And that will be our podcast going forward. And Josh, where could they find that audio format and visual format, Josh?
Yeah, so I'll start with the visual. So after every game, like Louie said, after 15 minutes, a nice little intermission for us. We're going to be live streaming on YouTube and X, formerly known as Twitter.
Bingo.
At Pens Collective. Both of them. At Pens Collective. On YouTube, you may have to search The Penguins Collective all the way. The whole name. You'll find us. You'll find a little logo. Click on it. Hit subscribe. Hit the like button.
Hit that
the
bell.
Little notification bell. Do it all. You know. You've heard me say it. But I'm also now saying it for YouTube. Okay, we're gonna do like what the streamers do. Smash that like button.
Smash that like button. Oh my gosh, like in 2010.
Oh, it's so. I'm sorry, but that's annoying. I don't like that.
Don't make us repeat it.
Yes, please.
Just do it once, so that way we're done.
And then Louie, which we greatly appreciate, will upload the audio into podcast format for Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Audible,
Amazon, everything.
Amazon, iHeartRadio. We are on pretty much wherever you can find podcasts. Type in The Penguins Collective, and we're there. Just same thing with YouTube. Just please leave us a review, leave us a comment, whatever you'd like. It's greatly appreciated. As I heard one podcaster say, which I'm going to steal it. If you don't rate us 5 stars, it just lets us know that you're a hater, and that's all right. Haters are welcome. So,
yeah, they are. I feel like Deion Sanders in Colorado State.
Yeah, it's 2 weeks old now. They just got their butts handed to them.
I know. I don't really like them, but I just felt like that was the cultural thing to say.
I don't mind them. Yeah,
that's another conversation.
We
won't. You know why? Because we're not a college podcast. But guys, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for dealing with our power outages. We really, really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys.
Can I just say one last thing? I do apologize for the power outages and everything, but I don't know if we mentioned below the TPC. 15,
I was going to get there. But
we have a partnership with them. That bet on us Dubis that I'm wearing. You can get that for TPC 15. But we have another announcement. That we'll make next week. It's already live on the website. Some of you probably already see it, but we'll make the official announcement next week on our podcast.
100%. But guys, yes, let's transition into the last ad of the day. We got our scroll at the bottom if you could see it. Shopyins.com. If you go there for the Yins brand, you can get any shirt, 15%, anything, shirt, hat, whatever, 15% off your first purchase. Use TPC 15 as your code at checkout. Guys, they got everything. They got everything from Steelers to Penguins to Pirates. They got you covered with a wide range, Josh, of stylish, comfortable, and quality apparel for every Yinzer. All right, so you can represent our city your way. All right, I'm rocking their hat. I'm going over here. That's not where the camera is. Right here. Right here. Bingo bongo. That's their logo. You ever see that logo on the back of cars where it's the old Robo pen and it has like
the pirate P and the Steelers tricolor.
It's the grossest thing I've ever seen. This is a new way to rep the brand. This is letting everyone know that you're a Yinzer and you're proud of it. So go to shopyins.com. That's shopyins2z's.com with promo code TPC15 and get 15% off your first purchase today. So go on, do that. Guys, we appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for joining this podcast today. We'll see you in the next one. Josh, as always,
Let's go, Pens.